G'day, this is Brad from the Aussie rock and roll band Massive, and you're listening to the Moshpit on SYN.
Massive, the Melbourne-based four-piece, burst onto the scene midway through 2012. Within 6 months, the band were playing showcase gigs in Los Angeles. Destination Somewhere is the follow-up album to their debut Full Throttle and will be released on April 22nd. They're a band full of rock anthems, huge choruses, and massive riffs. And on the line, we have Brad Marr, vocals and rhythm guitarist. Welcome to Moshpit, Brad Marr.
Thank you for having me, mate.
You're welcome. So you've got an album out later this month called Destination Somewhere. So what growth has the band's sound gone through since the last record?
I think you just naturally mature when you tour so much. The first album was our first 11 songs we ever wrote. So, 3 years on, it's just natural that you become better musicians and you get tighter as a group. So, yeah, it's massive 3 years later, and we've got a story to tell now. So, it's new and fresh for us.
Awesome. So who contributes what to the recording process?
We all contribute. I usually write the lyrics, but I mean, we've all got parts on this album that we can say that we wrote. So it's very much a group effort. Rock and roll is that you always put your layers on top of each other, and what comes out is something that might not have been what it was at the start, but it's a group effort, and all our influences are heard on the songs, I guess. So,
talking about you now, Brad, when did music, or how did music enter your life?
I started playing guitar when I was 12, just in high school, first year of high school. I actually went to high school with Jarrod, the drummer in our band. So, I mean, since we were 15, we've been trying to make a band, and, then we'll break up and start a different band, and, over a decade later, we're still doing it. So, it's a good 15 years in the making, this sort of stuff.
Awesome. So what singers and bands do you look up to?
I like, the 70s and 80s. I love Gunners, and I love Zeppelin and Sabbath and all that sort of stuff. So that's the music I listen to. But, I like going to gigs. I like watching local bands, and there's as many songs on my iPod from local bands as there is from, classic rock and roll and the 90s and stuff like that. So
I hate to put you on the spot, but can you maybe recommend some of the local ones?
Yeah, sure, man. Well, Electric Mary are the icons of, Melbourne rock. There's heaps. Dead City Ruins, Tequila Mockingbird, Hail Mary are great. We've toured with them a bunch of times. The Lockharts from Sydney, Tracer from Adelaide. There's unlimited amount of really decent rock music in the local scene.
Now, you guys are a local band, being from Melbourne. So, what's your opinion on the statement that Melbourne is the rock capital of Australia or even the world?
Well, we've toured overseas a fair bit, and we're going back over this year. And while I don't think there's as much opportunity in Australia as there is overseas, Melbourne has the best underground scene. The bands you go see on a Wednesday night at the local bar to 10 people are world class, and we're spoilt for that here. We don't realise how great we have it. That you go to America and you go to Europe, and yes, the big bands are there, and then there's a level below that, but the local scene has nothing on Melbourne, and I can say that because I've seen it. So we're very lucky to have it. So go and watch a band.
Awesome. So now you'll be launching an album with a show at the Evelyn Hotel in Melbourne on April 23rd. The album being released the night before. So what's a massive show like?
It's spontaneous, wild, sweaty, sloppy, groovy kind of party. You don't really know what to expect. We try and keep it high energy. We rock out as hard as we can, and we don't plan too much. We just go out there and have a lot of fun, and hopefully that energy and that fun translates into the crowd. It's just one big party, I guess.
So you guys played shows in LA where many of these bands from your genre hail from, either in LA or elsewhere in California, like the Sunset Strip. So what was that experience like?
We were still new when we went to LA. Like, we were young and dumb and had no idea what we were doing. So we basically boarded a flight to LA and went and tried to look for shows when we got there. And we got on a couple of shows and whatever, and it was fun and it was worthwhile. If anything, really, it was good when we came back because everyone was like, you guys are deadly serious. And and we were a tighter band because we did it. You don't do that and come home and and want to quit music, you do that and you come home and you want to just do this for the rest of your life. So, LA was a lot of fun. We will be back there probably early next year. So that's when it really kind of hits us that we're going and hanging out where, Gunners and Motley Crue and Van Halen, started.
Awesome. So after the tour, what's next for the band?
Well, after the Jets, because we're touring with the Jets straight after our launch, so it's a national tour here. We'll be going to Europe in September, and we'll be there till the end of the year. So, we've got a good 3.5 months of gigs. A lot of it's, booked. There's a whole bunch of dates you still have to book, but we'll be playing 6 nights a week across Europe for the second half of the year. So, that's where our end game really is, because there's a huge market for rock and roll over there. So, we're doing Hard Rock Hell over there in November, and there's German Music Week in September. So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Last question. What's your favourite song from Destination Somewhere, and why? Maybe tell us a story about it.
Probably the title track, Destination Somewhere. To me, that's everything that we're about. It's a song about packing up and going, and we're road dogs. We literally drive everywhere. We've driven around Australia so many times, and our last tour alone was 20,000 kilometres in the van. And if anything, that's our anthem. That's the song that we relate to the most. So, yeah, Destination Somewhere is everything that Massive is and will be for as many years to come as possible.
Massive's new album, Destination Somewhere, will be out April 22nd with an album launch show the next night at the Evelyn Hotel in Melbourne, and they'll be touring the country in support of the album in May. Thanks so much for chatting to Moshpit, Brad.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for calling.